Hello, YouTube. So, I know in the last rant about why I quit music, um, I was talking about more emotional parts of it, like at the fact that I lost my imagination, and also it's just starting to feel robotic. This one, I want to say more like practical reasons. So, if you're new to these videos where I film in the dark, it's because it's nighttime and everybody's still asleep, and this is the only time that I can film freely. I can film freely in other times, but it's varies because I work and because people are awake in the house, so they make a lot of noise, like they talk and clean, and they're cooking and the pots are banging, and I know that's distracting. So anyway, um, there's no if you need to understand this. If you're not a musician, and that's not something I want to say every time where I'm like, you're not a musician, so you don't understand. But I'll say this, if you're in the arts, I think you'll understand what I mean. Music is very expensive. Um, it is. Um, Very expensive, and you just also need resources to get to a certain level. I remember my family member acted like she didn't understand, and it's a family member um, that's not in my immediate family, but I was talking to her during the time that I had an immediate family member um, pass the requirements she had for a ranking, and because of restrictions during the pandemic, we had to watch it on through a virtual means. And the reason I'm using so many code words is to keep my family protected and keep myself protected. So sorry about the code words, sorry about the um, non-direct language, but I'm doing what I feel to keep my family protected. So anyway, so I was talking with this non-immediate family member about how I felt like a giant failure, and you know, started crying and stuff because that's what I usually do. And she was saying like, is there something that I enjoyed? Well, I said I liked music, but I mean, I didn't really want to pursue that. And she was saying, well, why didn't you? There's a lot of people that do this for pursue music professionally, but I forgot what I said, but I just kind of said something dismissive. You understand, if this immediate family member ever watches this, you have to understand music is very expensive. Like, if I'm going to pursue music professionally or in an academic setting, it will not serve you at all to be mediocre. Like, you have to invest money into getting private tutor, money into upkeep. Um, piano's a little different because you don't take it home, but say my other instrument. My other instrument. It's a string instrument, and the body by itself is usually cost minimum 500 to maybe maximum can be in the millions, but average you pay for a body of the instrument is maybe $800 to $1,000. 800 if you want like a decent one, but if you're renting, of course, from a music store, you're gonna be paying about $40 a month. 30 to 40. 30 is pretty rare. I think what happened was when I was younger and I had to rent a body for my instrument, we rented it so long. The music store said we ended up paying the buying price for it. So, they just let us keep it because we ended up paying the what it was worth. And since then, sadly, that music store went out of business. I kind of miss it. It was pretty close by, and I went there a lot of times to get what I needed for class. But anyway, so I'm sorry if I sound tired, but I'm not really tired. I'm just kind of over. I'm over music, and I kind of don't know how I feel about it right now. I kind of hate for what it did to me, emotionally wise. So I just kind of talk about it in a whatever way, but it still left a mark on me. But anyway, that's another video, whatever. So we ended up paying the price for the instrument. Okay, that's renting. And I already said about buying. Okay, so this type of instrument required 2 parts, and I'm using coded language to protect my information. I know I keep saying that, but if I say too much, I know people will know who I am. I just don't like, at least for right now, I just don't like I don't like putting too many puzzle pieces out there. So this type of instrument requires 2 parts to play it. So the second part that actually makes the sound, that usually costs an easy, of a really bad one would be like $100, $50 to $100 for a really crappy one. A good one would be like $100 to $200. Okay. This specific second part of this instrument needs a sort of material where it primes it to be able to produce a sound that won't make you want to rip your ears off. And this specific primer resin costs $20. A really good one might cost $10 to $20 above that. I've seen, or I don't doubt that some types of hardened resin might go towards the hundreds. And again, people pay these prices to produce a certain sound. If they're professionals or like they're playing for like world class, they might need these parts or instrument pieces to be in the millions or be in the 100,000s or be in the thousands, because they are competing on their sound. So if you understand, little factors are very important towards someone winning. So it's not just their playing ability, it's their instrument too. Anyway, so that's just the 2 parts plus the part that primes the second part. Okay, that you're not done. You're not done. The way this instrument is set up, it needs something that supports it on your body. Specifically when you're holding it in its correct playing position. That is called, I don't want to give it out, it'll be too obvious, but some people already know what I'm talking about. it's a certain rest that goes in your playing position. Now, if you want a cheapo one that won't last you a couple months and will break and chip, the rubber will start chipping and falling off. If you want a cheapo one, that's like $20, and you have to keep replacing it 20 times. Let's see, I have to replace it every 6 months or so. 20 times 2 is $40. $40 a year. Okay, that's not that bad, but now if you want one that is actually going to last you a while, that's going to be like $50 to $60. Okay, you can keep that for about a year or two. I kept mine's forever, until guess what, the foam piece of that specific rest starts to unglue and make your plane unstable. So here you go, another $50 to replace that actually good one. Now, if you want a superior one, I don't doubt that it's in the hundreds. Now you need a specific shiner for the instrument, a type of varnish. Now that's going to be $20, $30, $40, probably 40. Like, you see, like, the prices, like, I'll probably just give you $5,000 price tag for a instrument that won't get you a whole lot of money. Now, if you're playing for the millions cash prize, you're going to need that to be way upgraded into the thousands for each aspect of your instrument. Hundreds or thousands, 10,000s. Okay? And lessons. I did have lessons on this particular instrument when I was in, I hate talking about my past, but junior high, when I was in junior high, I did have lessons for about a year, maybe less, but $40 a month, 30 minutes. Okay. Parents, they didn't want to drive that much. They took me like once a month. I didn't learn anything, retain anything. They probably took me maybe 2 times a month. And my teacher, one time I didn't like practice well enough, and my teacher did ask, was I practicing? And at the time, I was a goody two shoes Christian, so couldn't lie. So, I mean, I don't lie now, but I'm just saying, back then I just really was brainwashed. Not brainwashed, but didn't understand that sometimes lies are necessary. Like, sometimes, not lies, but sometimes it's better just to not say anything. But I said I didn't practice, no, or something like that. And he just was saying that it's important that I practice. And I felt like crying, but he didn't yell at me, but I just wanted him to, have a better view of me. So, you look up to your teachers at that time. So, whatever. Whatever. But that costs money. Lessons cost money. And I tried to talk to another person I played with, like a mentor in a program I was involved in. And after we done talking, she said her rate was $60 an hour. And she lived way out of my family's comfort zone of driving me, and they didn't want to drive me anywhere besides school or whatever. So $60 an hour. Who has that kind of money? Rich people do. We were not that rich. We are blessed to have comfortable lives. We are blessed to have shelter, heat, water, everything else, but we just couldn't afford luxuries. We couldn't afford too many luxuries, so we didn't have the resources as far as like person that was always there to drive, and we also didn't have like the money was spent on making sure we could survive and things that were necessary. So that was money lessons. That's why I never really. So I was doing piano for a while, but that's why I never really like got past a certain point, because I never really, for the piano, that's the only one I'll share because I didn't share my second instrument. But piano, I didn't get formal lessons, and I mean, to this day, I maxed out. Like, I taught myself everything except, my grandma, rest in peace, taught me like the elementary basics, like where to place your hands, C to G, and then C to F on the left hand. She taught me all the black keys versus the white keys and the names of each key, and that's all I can remember being in her room, her teaching me that. And her wanted me to practice the beginner book, so she got me started, but I taught myself everything else. So not having a teacher for piano, it holds you back for any instrument. Like if you don't have a constant tutor pushing you or supporting you, you're just alone, or you're just playing these safe pieces by these music instructors who just want to pass the music performance assessment, and like it doesn't push you. Like anything you learn that's not in the curriculum, you have to like learn it on your own, or like have money to get a tutor, or like me, I was in a program after school for a while, but we quit because my parents just didn't want to take me. And then it cost money. I had to get like a work study, not like I had to get a work scholarship with it where I helped set up before and after the program, and yeah, so if you're rich, this is a rich person's hobby. This is a rich person's thing, and I just didn't know. I would have done something else if I knew music was so expensive. So it is, and like you want books. Like for me, for piano, I had to literally get my parents to get certain books, or I had to pay for sheet music online to play the songs I wanted, or it's just expensive.